Hello everyone, another video today, and today we're going to be talking about a certain characteristic, or should I say a lack of a characteristic with narcissists. So we're going to be talking about that in today's video. How narcissists are degenerates. Now, what am I talking about when I say degenerates? What do I mean? This actually ties into narcissism very well. Narcissists most definitely are degenerates. They have lost the mental and moral qualities considered normal and desirable. So these mental and moral qualities that most of us possess, narcissists do not have that. The mental and moral qualities are considered normal and desirable in society, relationships, co-workers, whatever it is. Mental and moral qualities are essential to build in healthy relationships, to having a healthy life. But narcissists don't have them. So that is what I mean by how narcissists are degenerates. It's degeneracy, because they are lacking these usual and expected qualities. And this is a huge red flag. But they hide it from you in the beginning. Remember those first couple of weeks when you first met them? They faked being normal. They acted friendly, trustworthy, cooperative, all of these things. And you later found out they're not really about that at all. It's all fake. They can only give you the illusion. They can only give you an orchestration where they plan and coordinate the elements of a situation to produce their desired effect. And it's a induced effect in you, where you then feed them, you reflect back your emotions, your emotional validation of the orchestration of the illusion. But it isn't real. It's no different to, it's like they are holding a mirror up to you. So you are seeing a reflection of yourself. You're seeing a reflection of your mental and moral qualities, the things that are considered normal and desirable in society. You're seeing a reflection of that in the beginning, which you assume is them, because you don't know that it's a reflection. And then when you're responding to that, when you're reacting to it, you will reflecting something back to them. So it's like two mirrors reflecting something back. And that's how it works. They reflect it back to you, and then you reflect it back to them. And it makes them feel normal in that moment. I mean, all a narcissist really wants is to feel normal. They know they're not normal. It's just pretending. It's just acting. And they use people to make them feel like they're normal. Because of course, deep down they know that everything they're doing is not normal. Deep down they know that they are crazy psychopaths. Deep down, they do know that. That's why they hide a lot of the things they do. That's why they go out of their way to prove to you that they can be normal when it's just an act, it's an illusion, it's an orchestration. Everything they do goes against social norms. So whatever is normal in society, they have to go against the grain. They have to do the opposite. So if it's normal in society to be honest and trustworthy, what do? They lie, they cheat, they do things behind your back. They do things that go against social norms, things that are not normal, things that are unusual and unexpected. That's what they do. They always go against the grain. They always do the opposite. And these are all perfect examples of degeneracy. Narcissists are degenerates because their behavior deviates from what is normal. And especially in a sexual sense, their sexual behavior deviates from what is normal in society because they are sexually perverted. They are sexually depraved. There's something very wrong with them sexually. And the reason for that is because I would assume that many of them have been sexually abused in their childhood. I would assume that because it really shows in their sexual behaviors. From what I have experienced myself and from what I've heard with clients in my sessions, there's definitely an issue there. I mean, it's not normal sexual behavior. And I can give examples. I mean, many of them are into BDSM, whips and chains, tying people up. I mean, that is not normal. There's nothing normal about that. That is not normal sexual behavior. And many of them are exhibitionists, which means that they like to put their bodies on display. They want everyone to see. Again, that is not normal. You're only supposed to show the closest person to you. You're not supposed to desire for everyone to see your body. So that's another thing. They are exhibitionists. That's another weird sexual behavior that they have. And many of them are voyeurs. If you don't know what that is, that's someone who likes to watch people in sexual acts. That's another weird thing that they like to do. And yeah, I mean, it's just not normal. It's not normal at all. And the reason they're like that is because they must have been sexually abused as a child. And well, I'm not saying that everyone who has experienced sexual abuse is like that. Of course not. But narcissists, it seems that the majority of them are like that. I think a lot of it does come back to their trauma, things that they have seen when they were younger, things that they were taught, things that they have learned. That is why they are so immoral and corrupt. This is another reason why narcissists are degenerate. They're immoral. They have no morals, no values. They will do anything, anywhere, with anyone, at any time. There's no rules, there's no regulations, there's no boundaries. They will do anything. And many of you have seen this, and it can shock you. They will do anything. They're just so impulsive and reckless, they don't even think about it. They do all of these things to you. They break the rules, they break laws. They're involved in very low standards of behavior. Things that most people would not accept. And that is how you wonder how they have these flying monkeys, how they have these people on their side. Because those people are exactly like them. They're exactly the same. You know, when you were around them, you were always arguing every day. There was always an issue because you're not like them. You don't accept their behavior. You cannot tolerate it because you can't tolerate degeneracy because you're a normal person. That's why. You're a healthy, functional person. But they're flying monkeys, the people that they spend time with, they're degenerates too. They can accept low standards of behavior. They can accept that because they're just the same. They're exactly the same. And that is how they're like glue. They stick together. But you will find that the longer you spend around them, the worse it gets. It just keeps getting worse because they are deteriorating mentally and morally. They're just getting worse and worse. They're not getting better. The longer you spend with them, the more shocking it gets until eventually it just becomes normal. It's like, it gets to a point where there's nothing they can do that will even shock you. Even if they pulled out a knife and held it to your neck, it would become normal to you after a while. Because if you've spent enough time with them, it's not long until you've seen it all. You've seen it all by that point. But yeah, it will just keep getting worse. Because these people, they have no common sense. You know that thing the rest of us have? That basic logic, reasoning, rationality. They don't have that. They don't have any common sense. And that is why they do a lot of the things they do, because they're not thinking clearly. They're going off of their emotions rather than responding intellectually. They're not using logic, they're just using their emotions. And a person who is constantly reacting off of their own emotions, by that point, they're almost completely insane. If they're not using any logic at all, then they're very dangerous to be around. But yeah, that's it. I mean, narcissists, they are degenerates. They are the lowest of the low. There are different classes of people in this world. And that is what you will find. You will find that there are different classes of people. Some people have intelligence, self-awareness, and some people don't. And another thing you will find, this is something I was thinking about, and it makes a lot of sense. I haven't seen anyone talk about this before. It's the first time I'm putting this out there, but it seems that as soon as you develop awareness of what is going on with them. That is the moment when they want nothing to do with you. As soon as you know what they're about. And then what do? They go and target someone else who is unaware. Someone who is stupid, a fool. So you can see that they don't like people who are aware. People who are at a certain level of awareness, they don't want anything to do with them. People who possess a certain level of intelligence, they don't want anything to do with them. So when you are intelligent and aware, you're pretty much dead to them at that point. But when you are unaware, hate to say it, but I think I speak for all of us, when we were foolish, then they couldn't get enough of us. Then they were always around us, taking up all of our time, spending all of our money. You couldn't get rid of them then. But then when you become more aware and you develop more intelligence as applicable to what you've experienced and the situation, you develop more knowledge about it, more experience, then they want nothing to do with you. It's kind of funny when you think about it, but yeah, that's the truth. They want to be around stupid, foolish, naive people. People who lack wisdom, knowledge, experience, and intelligence. Those are the kinds of people they want to be around. And the irony is, when you surround yourself with those types of people, you're not going to get very far in life. But unfortunately for them, it ends up being the only option they have. Once you figure them out, once you become more aware, they know they can't play that game with you anymore. So they have no choice but to move on. They're not going to come back to you now that you know what they're about, you know their game. And, once you've seen them move on, and the new situation they're in, and the stupid people they're around now, they're not going to come back to you. They're not going to come back just so you can laugh in their face, humiliate them, make a fool out of them. They're not going to come back just so you can do that. They're going to stay ghost. They're going to stay far away. Can you blame them? They're embarrassed. They're ashamed. And that's really a blessing in disguise. It's funny, like, when you think back, all of the horrible things they did to you. They tortured you, they put you through hell. They insulted you, they put you down, they ruined your life. They did all of that. And then the one time when they actually do something good for you, they do something right, the best thing they've ever done for you, they leave you alone, they walk out your life. When they finally do that, the best thing they could ever do for you, then you're not happy about it. Then you want them to come back. It's crazy when you think about it, but this is just how the situation is set up. But have a think about that. It's funny. It's funny when you think about it. How the best thing they ever done for us, after all the time we spent with them, then we're not happy about it. Trust me, you should be happy. If you have been discarded by a narcissist, or if you have made the decision to walk away, that's one of the best decisions you will ever make in your life. Because it only gets worse, it doesn't get better. I mean, you just got to look back at everything you've been through. Look back over the last few months, 1 year? Did things get better during that time? Or did they get progressively worse? And that's how you should know if they were still around, if you keep them around for another few months, another year. How much worse is it going to get? And some of you who still have hope and you think they might improve, how much have they improved in the last year? In the last 5 years? In the last 10 years? Have they changed anything in that time? Are you willing to wait around for another 5 or 10 years, wasting your life when you could be working on yourself, building yourself up, going to the gym, working on your business, traveling the world, meeting new people? Don't waste your time. Don't even waste your time, because I can tell you right now, it's not worth it. There's far better options for you out there. There really is. And it's a big world. It's a big world with 8 billion people, hundreds of countries. So why restrict yourself to this one person who is making your life hell? They're making you miserable. Sometimes you just gotta look back and see everything they've done, see everything you did for them. You stay so loyal and devoted to them. What are they doing for you? What are they doing for you? Are they paying your bills? Are they taking care of you? Are they giving you back massages? Are they cooking you food? My guess is they're not doing any of that. They're not doing anything for you. They're just wasting your life. But you were doing a whole lot for them. And I know they didn't appreciate it. I know they took you for granted. But trust me, there are people out there who will appreciate you. Remember everything you did for them? And they just overlooked it. They didn't care. They didn't say thank you. If you just did a tiny fraction of that for someone else, they would be over the moon. They would be so happy. And you deserve that. You deserve to feel appreciated when you put the work in. You do the right things. You deserve that recognition. And there are people out there who will give that to you. You will find someone who can appreciate you. But sometimes we have to examine, what are we actually looking for? I mean, this is like the law of attraction, really. I mean, what are your thoughts that you are putting out into the universe? What are you attracting into your life? Because whatever you say you want, that is what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get. So you need to think about it carefully. And I can talk about this from my own experience. I mean, I remember before, I used to say that I want a certain type of woman, and I would fantasize about it. And then suddenly I attracted that type of woman into my life. But she didn't possess the mental and moral qualities that I desired, that I expected, because when I was attracting this person into my life, I didn't place much emphasis on that. It was more about the physical appearance. And after that relationship, then I was thinking, I'd love to have a girl who looks like a doll, like a little Barbie doll. And I hope that I can make more money, and that I can buy her clothes and dress her up like a doll the way that I like. And yeah, again, I attracted exactly what I was thinking of. Again, came into my life very quickly. But once again, that person lacked the mental and moral qualities that I desired, because I didn't place much emphasis on it again. I was too focused on the physical appearance. And yeah, I mean, people who really focus so much on their physical appearance, I mean, I'm sure I'm going to get some backlash for this, but 9 times out of 10, I would say that people who focus so heavily on their physical appearance are crazy, and they're very dangerous to be around. Because you just got to think, you know, these types of people, they will spend thousands of pounds on their physical appearance, plastic surgery, Botox, but they wouldn't even spend a fraction on that on therapy, on their minds, on making themselves a better person. But they will spend it on their physical appearance. So that's how you know there's not much going on in there. So what kind of a relationship are you going to have with them? And I think that's why people say that people who spend so much money on cars, designer clothes, their bodies, plastic surgery, Botox, all of that, people who spend all their money on that are often narcissists, they say. I've heard people say that, and thinking about it now, yes, I can understand. And you know, I think about that with myself as well. You know, how I have spent quite a lot of money on designer clothes, cars, and sometimes I do think, you know, why? You know, what am I trying to compensate for? But then I could also look at it like I have spent far more money than cars and clothes on my experiences, traveling the world. So that's also another thing to take into consideration as well. It's not just how much money people spending on designer clothes, cars, plastic surgery, whatever, but it's also how much are they spending in relation to how much they're spending on other things, more positive things, or you know, things of more meaning and substance. So that's an important way to look at it as well. But yeah, Narcissists, they are degenerates. They really are. And I think that is actually another reason why they spend so much money on superficial things to impress, to attract, to lure people in. Because if they don't do that, then what else are they going to do? I mean, they don't have the mental and moral qualities that people desire and expect. So of course they have to use something else. Some narcissists use their physical appearance, others use money, others use their intelligence. But regardless of what they're using, they all have one thing in common: they are all degenerates. They're lacking usual and expected qualities. They don't do the normal, usual thing. They don't do what you expect them to do. They're very unpredictable. You never know what they're going to do next. And that's how you know there's something wrong. That's how you should know that. All of these times when you're caught off guard, you're wondering what is going on, you're so confused, you're shocked. These are all red flags. Because when you're dealing with a normal person, you won't experience any of that consistently. You won't always be in a state of confusion and shock and worry and fear. It's not normal to experience that all of the time. But you always experience that with the narcissist. Because they're messed up, that's why. They're crazy. They're not normal people. They're not real people. But yeah, I mean, they trick us, they make us believe that they're of substance, that there's something beneath the surface. They try to make us believe that as though they're actually about something for real. But like I said earlier, that's just a mirror. They reflect back to you what you're about and what you want to see. Because if there's one thing we all have in common, we were looking for a relationship, a long-term relationship. Maybe marriage, children, someone we could take care of, and someone who would take care of us. That's what we were looking for. And we never got that from the narcissist. All we got was lies, manipulation, and delusions. And of course, when it's all said and done, then they show you that they always knew exactly what you wanted. And they show you that by giving it to someone else. And you look at it and you think that it's real and it hurts you. Makes you wonder why they couldn't have that with you. And most often they downgrade, they pick someone who is less attractive than you are. Maybe someone who has a job that's not as good as yours, someone who's not as successful or doesn't have as much money. And you look at it and you think, why did you have to leave me for that? You could have just stayed with me. But that's it, it's meant to affect your self-esteem. It's meant to make you think that you were so bad that they had to run after that. Even that was better than you. But yeah, it is all an illusion. Even when they move on, it's just as fake as what it was with you. Remember what you saw from them in the beginning? That was all fake. false character. All that's happening is they're just giving the false character to someone else, and they've picked up some things from you, things that you like, things that you approve of, things that you wanted them to be, and then they be that for someone else. So it's kind of like they're taking this character which you have created, this character that you want. They're taking that character and using it to attract someone else. And then this next person is unknowingly falling in love with you. And this next person may not be gay. I mean, they don't even know. But that's really the truth. I mean, if you think about this deeply, that is actually what is going on. Because remember, everything that they are, they're chameleons. They take bits and pieces of you into the next relationship. Bits and pieces of things that you like, things that you are interested in. And then they use that to attract the next person. So, yeah, the next person they're involved in is really just falling in love with you, if anything. But yeah, narcissists, they are degenerates. You can't fix them, you can't make them better, you just need to avoid them. You shouldn't even desire to be around people like that. People who have very low standards of behavior. People who will do anything. No morals, no values. They're dirty, disgusting, vile creatures. And you should want no part of that. You should be glad they're gone. Or if they're still there, you should be doing everything you can to get rid of them. But they will try to fool people. They will try to cover their stench with perfume. But it's still there. They are what they are. And that's never going to change. It's like that thing about, it's not like a fairy tale how you can kiss a frog and it turns into a prince. And as the saying goes, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. It does not work that way. They don't just suddenly change overnight. You have to look at these patterns of behavior, whatever they have been doing before they met you, while they were with you. I can assure you they're going to be doing that for the rest of their lives. Whatever they were looking for, whatever they were trying to accomplish, it's always going to be like that. And it's the same with you. I mean, you're not suddenly going to change. It doesn't work like that. You were looking for a relationship, and you are going to continue desiring that even after the narcissist is gone. And you may hate it sometimes. You may wish that you could just not be that way anymore. You may wish sometimes that you just didn't have a heart. Like if only you could just rip your heart out and no longer feel anything. Sometimes you may envy the narcissist. There's no heartbreak, no emotional pain, at least not how we feel it. They don't experience that. But then they also don't experience true happiness. That rush of excitement we get when we're in love. That's what makes it worth it. That's what makes it a fair exchange, is that although we may experience heartache, we can also experience real love. And having that contrast makes it taste that much sweeter, doesn't it? Same thing with these narcissists, when we have to go through all of these things with them. And then you go for a walk on the beach, the sun is going down. You can hear the sound of the waves. It's like you can experience it that much more. You can really enjoy it because you have that contrast. You've just been through a difficult situation.